everyone, I'm Destiny with Queens of Denial Studio, and I am here for your quick tip video for September. This month I am talking about one of my favorite moves, and that is the hand Floreo. It's most commonly done in ATS or American Tribal Style Dance. You can also see it throughout Tribal Fusion or other fusion style dances. I actually discovered that I was doing my hand Floreos incorrectly until I went to a workshop in Columbia, sponsored by Maria, where she brought Wendy Allen down from Fat Chance Belly Dance, and she went over hand Floreos, and I discovered that I was doing mine wrong, but she gave us some great tips on how to correct them and make them stronger and more beautiful. So let's get started. I most commonly see people do their hand Floreos more as a wrist circle. So what I normally see is this, which is still beautiful on its own, but it's not a correct hand Floreo. That's more or less taking your wrist and just making a circle. So throughout this quick tip, I'm going to reference you drawing with your middle finger. So if you actually think about having a pin on the end of your middle finger, if you're doing just wrist circles, then if you're drawing with your middle finger, you're just making a circle with it. So what Wendy did was break it down into an 8 count, which of course you guys know that when you're dancing, especially slow, that you're not necessarily counting that 8 count hand Floreo. We count as dancers on an 8 count, so I find that when she broke it down as an 8 count, it was a lot easier to understand what I'm supposed to be doing. So what we did was we started in an up position, and our 1, we flipped it over to the outside. So this will be our outside wall. And then for 2, we kind of pinched our middle and our thumb finger in just a bit. You don't want to go whomp, but pinch it in just a little bit. 3, we swiped it over to our inside wall. 4, we dropped it down. 5, outside wall. 6, swipe it back over to your inside wall. 7, open up a little bit. And 8, you pop it up. Okay? So let me actually put that in the center and do that again. So you have 1, pinch 2, swipe 3, down 4, over 5, swipe 6, open 7, up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. So typically when we're dancing, we won't sit here and go one all the way around. We'll end up making that a little bit smaller, which is okay. So again, think about drawing with the tip of your middle finger. If you notice the difference already between this and this, right? So 1, we are making a circle, and with our actual hand Floreo, we are making a figure 8. So we're making a vertical up and down figure 8. So what you do is whenever you start that hand Floreo, you're actually starting the center of that figure 8 where it like pinches in the middle. So you're going to swipe through that middle section, draw that bottom loop, swipe through the middle section again, and then draw the top loop. So swipe through the middle section, draw the bottom loop, swipe through the middle, draw the top loop. Middle, bottom, middle, top, middle, bottom, middle, top. Good. So something that I also see happen once students get that and they click that, what they end up doing then is kind of like cutting it in a diagonal. So they get confident and fast, and instead of slowing down and thinking about it, what they end up doing is they'll start it and then right up to right up to the top instead of actually completing that full loop and swiping it through the center before coming up. They tend to get to the bottom and then shoot it up. So I actually think about creating 2 complete loops, one on the bottom and one on the top. So I like to actually get in front of a mirror and draw with a whiteboard marker a figure 8. So I can actually take my middle finger and trace it. Alright? I can actually trace that figure 8. So if you end up making it a little bit smaller while dancing, that's fine. It would probably look more like this. So you notice it's still not super big. I'm not completely, what I call breaking my wrist. I'm not completely doing that. Turn to the side. So I'm not completely breaking my wrist, but I am keeping that figure 8 going. If I was to completely break my wrist with it, it would be much bigger. And if you guys can hear all the clicking and popping that's going on in my wrist, just know that's pretty normal for people. I don't know if that's coming through on the video, but with every rotation I hear pop, 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 pop. So it's pretty normal to have clicks and pops in your joints. I just wanted to mention that if you guys could hear it. Good. So let's do that a little bit on our right side. I know we are one side dominant right now, especially when you do certain moves in ATS, like tuck seam or the circle step, and you're in the up position. We don't have our right arm up. We usually have our left arm up. But to keep our sides even and both strong and equal, we're going to do a little bit on our right side. So we're going to start up, and remember, outside wall, inside wall, down, outside wall, inside wall, up. Outside wall, inside wall, down, outside wall, inside wall, up. Outside, inside, outside, inside. Good. So through the middle, bottom loop, through the middle, top loop, through the middle, bottom loop, down, through the middle. Good. So bottom, middle, top, middle, bottom, middle, top, middle. Good. So one thing I do want to mention, if you guys notice while I am doing these hand floreos, I'm not putting too much action into my arms. I'm keeping it just my wrist and my fingers. I'm not involving my whole arm. So what I mean is, if you notice, there is some movement in my arm, but that's just because all of this is connected. But what I'm not doing is this. Right? I don't need to involve my elbow, and I most certainly don't need to involve my shoulder. It can stay right here. Okay? Good. So everything seems fine and dandy when we're just here practicing, or if you're practicing your tuck seam or your circle step with it. But remember, even with arm sweeps, so even when I'm sweeping my arm, I'm going to keep that Floreo going. So when you're doing a full hand Floreo with your arm sweeps, you should get about 2 full hand Floreos. Any more than that, you might be doing it a little fast. That's just my opinion on how I dance my ATS. I like my slow to be slow. But I do notice that when people are doing more of the circle, they're able to get countless numbers of rotations in there through a whole arm sweep. So actually think about doing your full hand Floreo, your full figure 8 with it, and doing your arm sweep with it. Also, think about whenever you're doing your tuck seams, which part of the hand is supposed to be up and which part of the hand is supposed to be down. Same thing with the circle step. So I'm actually just going to drill a little bit for both sides, and I encourage you guys to follow along and just let me know if you have any questions. If there is anything other quick tip videos that you guys would like, please let us know. You can always reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. So leave us a comment if you have any questions, or let us know what you guys would like a quick tip video on. Otherwise, thanks so much for tuning in, and I will get to drilling for a little bit. So. A couple more. One more. Good. Right side. A couple more. And let's do one more. Awesome. Great work, guys. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.